fun begins.
How's it going?
Hello.
Well,
Greetings, young Jedi.
hello there.
Hey everyone, Hybrid Toy Reviews here, and today we are taking a look at the Star Wars The Black Series, Princess Leia Organa, from Star Wars A New Hope, my least favorite Star Wars movie, but that's okay. It only means it got better from there. But this is, of course, an iconic look. It's the first movie, I get it, but it is iconic. White dress Leia is just the look for Leia. You know, there's no denying it, and so when they showed this figure, I was completely here for it. Now, don't get me wrong, my first initial impressions were traffic cone, because you don't have to be as a genius to tell in the box that is all sculpted rubber. I really like soft goods on figures typically to prevent the limitations of articulation, but because I haven't had an A New Hope shelf for a while, when I dug out the archive Leia, and I kind of thought about it, my love for it may have been in the past, because with a fresh eye, I think this looks pretty good, just initial impressions. So let's go ahead and get her out of the box, see what we're getting here, and get into the review. And here's Black Series Leia in the packaging. Let's go ahead and start by taking a look at that. This is your standard Black Series box with a ginormous window showing her and her accessories off nicely. Star Wars The Black Series, number 8, Princess Leia Organa. Star Wars A New Hope in that A New Hope orange. Warning 4+ Hasbro. This side features the artwork of Leia, looking pretty cool. She's kind of in that tunnel where she gives R2 the secret plans. Princess Leia Organa. Wraparound window, wraparound orange stripe, Black Series logo. Around back, a zoom in of the art, the Black Series logo again. Her bio in varying languages. Pause and read whichever one applies best to you. Number 8 in the New Hope line. Bunch of legal stuff. Disney logo, Hasbro, barcode, more legal stuff. Stuff that no one cares about. And then up top is your hanger tab. Very standard action figure box preferences. Nothing really to write home about here. Let's open her up and see what we're getting here. So here's Princess Leia out of the box, and as always, we're going to start by taking a look at her accessories. So she comes with multiple. She comes with an Imperial Stormtrooper blaster, because she gets her hands on one in the Death Star escape section of the film. This is admittedly the blaster she uses most in the film, but not the one I personally prefer for the figure look. It is done very nicely in a dark gray plastic with a little bit of silver on the opening slide there. And yeah, this is a OT blaster. They didn't give her the flashlight-sided one. I believe this might actually be a reuse of the older blaster sculpt too, so that is interesting. Setting that to the side, she has the blaster that I will be posing her with. This is just her long, skinny pistol blaster that you see her use briefly in the beginning of the movie against the stormtroopers before she is stunned. So, not a whole ton of screen time in A New Hope, although I believe she carries it for the duration of the original trilogy. So, this is the blaster I prefer. Looks very Earth-like. I mean, of course, all the original trilogy guns were Earth guns with scopes and shit added on, but this just looks like a Glock, you know, with an added barrel. But yeah, pretty neat, really neat accessory, and one that I would prefer. Something really interesting they did on this version of Leia is they gave her a swappable rubber hood. So the whole thing with this figure is they did away with the soft goods, and they are doing all rubber. So she has, out of the box, her hood sculpted down, and it is dangling way low, very faithful to the film, and it looks very good. It's very soft and pliable. It lays nicely against the figure. You can lift it out however you would like to do. And to do the head swap on this, what you do is you decapitate her, like so. The ball joint comes off and stays in the head, leaves the neck hollow, and then you work this off, you pull the collar off, and then you push the collar on the neck stub, you fish the head in there, you get the ball joint lined up, you pop the ball joint on, you work the hood down to the shoulders, and that actually works very well. It doesn't really cover her face so much, I will say. I think I would have preferred, I know it doesn't cover her face in every scene, I would have preferred if it maybe came up to the front of her hair, you know, kind of provide a little bit of a concealment until you're looking a little more, you know, a little more dead on. But it does look good, it lays very nicely, and yeah, I have no gripes there. For the purposes of the review, I am going to take it off, just because I think it is easier to see the figure with the hood off, and yeah. So it is super easy to swap, only takes a second, and once you have it swapped, it's just, you know, it's a super easy 1, 2, 3 done. Taking a closer look at the figure, there's actually a little bit of reuse going on, more than you would actually think this figure would have. Taking a look at the head sculpt, it looks very, very good. It's a very nice likeness to Carrie Fisher. It's photoreal, of course, and just phenomenal looking. However, I will say it is the same head sculpt that they put on the archive one. When you actually get down to it and you really look at the hair, it is like every strand is the same. The one thing they've done is they've cleaned up the photoreal application a little bit. It's a better application, and this one definitely has the photoreal shine, where the factory didn't get the memo, as they used to say. So this is definitely an improvement, but it is the same head sculpt. Looking at the rest of the figure, the dress is sculpted very, very nicely. Something that I hate with reviewing figures like this is she is so stark white. I mean, very, very white. And it's like, I work with my hands. I'm a laborer, so my hands are always like stained with like chemicals and stuff. And it's like, it makes me very self-conscious about my hands. I feel like I'm dirty-handed in the review. So sorry if that's how it looks. Like this is just staining. It's just what my thumb looks like. But yeah, I love it. It's laying very, very naturally. It looks just like you would expect it to look, and just a very nice white gown. Sculpted nice. It's draped up over the belt as it does in the film. You do still have the belt sculpted on the top of the lower portion of the dress. And yeah, it's just nice and baggy, but also has all sorts of little ripples, and just this is like the A New Hope Leia, I gotta say. For that comparison, again, mine was in storage and someone had blue tack on their feet, so that soft goods dress is ruined. But I don't know how I'd ever convince myself that this looks better. It definitely does not. Maybe if you pinch it up all tight in the back or whatever. But yeah, this is definitely not as good as I think I had placebo-pilled myself to believe it was. So one thing that is reuse, let's upskirt the princess, is if you look in there, she actually does have double-jointed pinned legs. And these legs are reuse from the original Leia. Like, through and through, they are just what they are. They've done a new, like, cod piece, upskirting the princess, and they haven't done the flesh tone on the legs. They've given her pants under the dress now, which is fine. But yeah, just a little bit of reuse, but the legs are solid. There's a little bit of detenting going on with the ankle articulation. That's a little annoying, but once you find a good pose for her, I think you'll be satisfied. Another thing is the left leg has like an outward bow-leggedness going to it. That's a little bit annoying too, but is what it is. There is a split in the rubber skirt that goes all the way up to the hips, so this should theoretically not hinder your articulation at all. And it's very, very, very pliable. Cannot emphasize. It's like super soft, just very, very soft. Nothing to complain about there. So speaking of articulation and how the figure might move, let's run through some. So she has a double ball system neck, which allows her to look that far up, that far down, side to side, and get a ton of pivot. She can bring her arms out to a T-pose where there is not a super deep, but a nice and functional butterfly joint, 360-degree rotation at the shoulder with single-jointed elbows with deep cuts that allow her to still get past 90 degrees. That is excellent. Swivel at the elbow, 360 at the wrists, and the left hinges in and out, the right hinges up and down. Both feature trigger fingers. The right one's separated, the left one isn't separated, but it is sculpted very much in a trigger finger type of pose. She has a mid-torso ball joint, allows her to crunch that far forward, that far back, get some side to side, and pivot in there. Her legs can kick not all the way out, but that's plenty far. I mean, that's enough. She can kick straight forward. Like I said, it's pliable. It gets out of the way. She can't go back very much at all. There is an upper thigh cut for swivel up there with the double jointed knees, allowing her to basically kick her own backside. And then her feet can point straight down, really far forward. And there's a forward-facing pin for rocker, allowing you to get her into some decently wide stances with both feet flat on the ground, getting her back into a standing position, which is just a little bit frustrating with that bow leg going on. But there we go. I have her pretty straight up and down there. Let's do some size comparisons. If I can get her straight. There we go. That's straighter. Here she is next to the new Luke Skywalker from this wave. He stands taller than her. I feel that's accurate, but maybe he's too tall. I don't know. Here is an Imperial Stormtrooper who is a standard 6-inch tall figure, and he's taller than Luke. So I guess maybe the Luke and Leia difference does work. Here is the mega super tall A New Hope Darth Vader. Here is the new R2-D2 and the Archive C-3PO. And bring them up so you can see them right next to each other. Leia, yeah, the shortest here other than R2. I feel that's accurate. Carrie Fisher just wasn't very tall, very vertically challenged. Nothing wrong with that at all. But yeah, really good figure. I'm really liking it. And yeah, it's just good. I think it scales nice. I'm liking this. So at the end of the day, what do I think of the Black Series and New Hope Leia? Honestly, I'm really loving this figure. It's a great upgrade. I can't believe I told myself that Archive one was good. I thought it was good for years, and somehow this completely broke me of that vision. But yeah, I like it. I think the reuse here is appropriate. It was a great head sculpt. No need to change that. Update the photo reel a touch. Great call. The leg reuse, it's whatever. It's underneath a rubber skirt, and it articulates fine. I've got no gripes. Yeah, honestly, I think this is a pretty well done figure. Basically, no complaints. It has a great likeness, unlike the Luke, so if anything, it's a better update than the Luke somehow, which I thought was a pretty good figure, again, other than the face. So yeah, end of the day, I'm super satisfied. I think you will be too if you decide to pick her up. If you have any of the old Leias, I think this is a required update for you to have the best thing in your collection. If you are an in-package collector, might I advise holding out a little bit? Remember the past. They always did a bunch of A New Hope figures, Empire figures, Return figures a year or two before their anniversary so they could retro card them. This Leia is absolutely getting the special edition packaging treatment in 2027. So if you want something special to keep in the box, maybe hold off a little bit. But if you're looking for one just to have in your standard packaging or one just to have open, this is definitely a pickup now. So go track it down. That's it for now. May the Force be with each and every one of you. Thanks for checking out my videos. If you liked, leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that end of video stuff, and I'll catch you next time. Until then, may the Force be with each and every one of you, and have a good day.